Very nice, very nice. We're in New York with private lessons member June Kubo. Am I pronouncing it right?
Yes.
Okay, great. Welcome.
Thank you.
Tell me about this instrument.
Yes, this is called the shinobue. It's a Japanese bamboo instrument, and it's usually used in like festivals and Japanese traditional ensembles. And the one that you just heard is actually has a number at the end. It has a Japanese number, so it's number 8. And the number 8 stands for, this is in C major, and each instrument has its own key. So, you know, if you're a professional shinobue players, you'd have 12 instruments, but I only own a few, because I don't play that many festivals.
I understand.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. But you're a classical flute, so behind
Yes.
you have a beautiful classical flute. And you were trained in Juilliard here and some other schools, right?
Yes. I spent 8 years at Juilliard, including pre-college. I did my master's program at Cincinnati, and then I finished my studies at NYU with Robert Dick.
That's great. So we should mention that you're a concert performer. You're also working in ensembles.
Mm-hmm.
And we talked a little bit, and you mentioned that you are moving on to a variety of styles. Tell me about this.
Well, I was at school for a very long time, but I studied various things, not only flute performance, but I started going into computer music compositions. I started going into jazz, because in new music in Cincinnati, I worked a lot with composers, and they're looking for a lot of new sounds. That's not traditional in a way. So they would actually pick a flute and try to actually come up with some sound that does not create it from this tone hole. But then I said, okay, I'm doing a lot of improvisation. And improv, I figured, oh, maybe I should study jazz. So I started going to jazz, but it takes a long time. Like classical music, also same thing. I've been doing it for a very long time, since I was 3 years old. So the training in classical music, I think, goes same with jazz. In jazz, you
so with
also
your
have to
students,
have,
your
yeah.
base is really the classical foundation.
Well, most of the students that I have, I only teach classical music. Because I have a lot of young students and also mature students, but I see a lot of problem in fundamental technique. And in order to be free at what you want to do, you need to have, you know, the technique to give you that freedom. So that I do concentrate on.
And that translates into any style of
Yeah.
music. Okay,
Yeah,
that's great.
anything.
You know, I found, and we talked a little bit about this, I found that there is a resurgence of many classically trained musicians from important schools now, into moving into other styles of music. For example, in jazz or contemporary improvisation, etc. Do you find that? Is that what was the impetus for you to move into that?
Yes. When I first worked in contemporary music, that for us, when I got my training, I concentrate a lot about performing and understanding and interpreting the music. But I actually had to know a lot about music itself, almost as a composer, in order to collaborate with all this, with everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So in order to actually really understand what we're performing, we need to really go into the music, creation itself.
That's wonderful. That's a great story. Thank you so much. And if you would like to close out this segment with your flute and
Okay.
give us a little sample, that would be great. Thank you for coming.